We'll do roll call for P. Wilbur, okay? All right, we'll bring this meeting to the Natrona County Parks Board to order. We'll start with our roll call.
Jim Miller.
Stuart Hill.
Doug Irvin.
Michael Brown.
All righty, thank you. Now, the first thing here is the approval of our December 9th minutes. Do I get a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
All right, and seconded. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of approving those minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Same sign against. All right, those approved. So we need the special meeting minutes we had from December 16th. So we'll get those printed up and we'll have them our next meeting, I guess. Okay, so for reports now, Michael, you want to run us through what you have here? You don't have to go verbatim,
Yeah.
but
So, we'll start with the Mountain, Castle Mountain Trail Center. We have an RFP issued for architectural services. We have a pre-proposal conference with 5 firms attending. And their proposals are due January 26th. They'll be reviewed by a selection committee. Anywhere between 5 and 7 people will be on that committee representing different aspects of the Parks Department, County Commission, Parks Board, and I have one person selected from basically the citizen ring, who's not actually tightly involved with Mountain.
okay.
So, those reviewers will review a written proposal and score it on the matrix. Those scores will be combined. We'll take the top 2, depending, maybe 3 proposers, and bring them in for interview. And then that same selection committee will be on the interview team, score again. The top one will open their price proposal and present it to the commission to be issued a contract with them.
Okay, fantastic. How's the committee going to be selected?
I have put together a list of people that I thought represented well and had a lot of knowledge of the trail center, and I'm reviewing that with one of the commissioners who's been selected. I believe it'll be Jim Milne. He'll be representing the county commission, so he's reviewing the list I sent him, and then we'll kind of get his suggestions, go back and forth, and then announce that group. Those written proposals will be reviewed on everybody's own time. They'll be issued around February 2nd, and they'll have till the following week to get the scores, so they'll have 3-4 days to review the proposals and score them, and then we'll select people for interview.
Okay.
So,
I know I'd sure like to be on that one. I was on the Murtha one, so I have some experience in with this.
I think I sent you an email seeing it. Did you get my email? I sent you one seeing if you'd be interested.
I don't think I did, no.
Okay. Well, maybe I need to check email.
Yeah, I need to check mine too, okay?
So,
We just did it this afternoon. I did
no,
not
it was a
see.
few days ago.
Okay,
So-
I'll check again. So, yeah, I know we need to have at least 2 of us, I think, on that committee. We're going to be the ones managing this thing, and
Right, so I'll definitely be on there. I requested our parks manager, Joe Gillingham, because he's familiar with maintaining it,
Yep.
getting snow removed, all of that. And then, who else did I have? I'm not sure, but I'm waiting for Jim to kind of verify my suggestions or suggest somebody else.
okay.
And the user groups, all the public will have plenty of time to review the plans in public that whoever is chosen puts forth. So we'll have some public input at meetings and
Good.
probably post online to get that. But the technical selection of an architect, which firm we feel is best, I feel might be best managed by the bulk being county employees or park board representatives, just because if you get too many people in there, it gets difficult to manage.
Absolutely does,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Don't want to get too large, that's for sure.
So, anything else on the trail center at this time?
Gentlemen? So the Trail Center now, the new one, it's up and running, you've got keys and
The temporary
everybody's-
building, yeah, I have several keys. I've checked out 2 of them. One to Kelly Walsh High School team, and, which will be utilized this week for the High Plains race. Should probably utilize it mostly for volunteers. Tori Radosevich has one for Mangus that the Casper Nordic Club puts on. She used it Sunday for registration and space, and there's a few parents that kind of hang out, but it's really a small space. It's not very big, so, but that's, we don't have any employees that can man it. Our maintenance guys on the mountain, sometimes they work from 4 in the morning till 9 in the morning, depending on snow and grooming, so we can't really, we don't have anybody that can set up there and monitor it being
Right.
open, so that's the best we can do. And any user group that wants to contact me to schedule using it, I'd be more than happy to. I kind of get their typical schedule of when they're going to use it and check the key out to one of the people, and they're basically responsible for it. So if a toilet gets backed up, they can contact us and we can get it taken care of, kind of thing, so.
Okay,
Grooming, there's not a whole lot going on because there's not a whole lot of snow. I skied Sunday, and it was pretty good for what we got. But there's not a lot of snow, so if we don't get some more snow, it's gonna be a rough season.
I think it's going to be a rough season.
Yeah. The vehicular wayfinding signage program is continuing on. We met, the subcommittee met on the 6th or the 5th. Quite a few ideas were put together. The subcommittee basically is all in agreement with everything. Currently, Parks Department is reviewing those recommendations and reviewing them with RDG, the consultant. And we're going forth with that. I want to get some clarification on some of the requests and make sure that they are, can be done. Because we want to follow what the MPO has done, and so there's some things there. The one thing that's probably mostly up in there is the subcommittee is on board with is removing the nonprofits from the signs. The Parks Department and some of the commissioners are not 100% with that, and so we're reviewing that technical issue if it can be allowed or not. And some information was provided at the subcommittee by Sean Reed, YDOT signage, and so I'm reviewing that with legal, with the commissioners who ultimately will determine if this bid package goes out or not. And we'll revisit this at the next subcommittee meeting to discuss in further detail that aspect of it. So-
Questions, concerns? I think that.
Thought the subcommittee meeting went pretty well. We had a lot of good input and a lot of good ideas, especially a lot of hard work by Mr. Reed.
Yes, I agree with that.
I heard good things. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Well, good. I'm glad that's moving on and it's going the right direction. Thank you.
The bear trap shelters and Burke Miller Engineers was awarded the contract for 3 shelters at the January 4th Commissioners meeting. The scope was revised, so it was the original contract was tabled at the December meeting, and then it was removed from the consent agenda with the revised one being put in its place. Basically, the change in scope was they requested that the firm propose 3 different options: a metal kit shelter, a wood kit shelter, and a in-house custom shelter with cost opinions for each, as well as cost opinions for the recommended thickened edge slab versus drilled piers or caissons. So they're going to provide those cost opinions to see what is the most economical way of approaching this project.
Okay. Questions?
Caitlin's Trails Master Plan, and not really any update there. Hopefully we'll have a final draft here this spring at some point on that, and basically that's to revisit that real quick, that's to improve our trail system, maybe take out for the summers, possibly provide trails from Bear Trap through the campgrounds down to the trail center, put in some more technical type trails. The master plan is going to provide guidance for where volunteer groups could do work, where maybe a basic contractor could do work, and then where we need more of a technical trail expert to provide design. So we'll have 3 levels of trails that we can construct and how to do those. And so that'll be coming out here pretty soon, and we'll get that in front of the public when we get that next draft to do that. Any questions on that?
Anything else before we move on to the lakes? Want to do
I
an
have-
update or anything on Bridle, or?
I have one more on the mountain, and that's the Wyoming Land and Water Conservation Fund grant that we applied for. We're waiting to hear if that'll be awarded. Hopefully, we'll hear that in February. I took Amy Crawford from the State Outdoor Recreation Department. They request, the grant writer, or grant funders requested her to take some photos. So we looked at 3 of the 4 kiosks. We did not try to enter archery range to look at the 4th location. I just didn't feel we would probably get in there. The last mile is probably drifted in and not worth risking trying to get in
You
there.
never know, yeah.
So,
Okay. How much do you think that grant's going to come out to?
the commissioners committed, it's a 50-50 grant. So the commissioners were committed to half of that, which I think is 230,000, something like that. So the grant would be that same amount. Basically, the way the grant works is you get it approved, you construct them, and then they reimburse the county for the 50% of it, up to that grant amount.
Wow,
So,
fantastic.
Mike, do we have anything on the Crimson Dawn at all? Any information?
no, Allison was at the subcommittee meeting. I know Doug mentioned maybe getting together with them. I honestly haven't reached out. I haven't had time. So as soon as they maybe gather their ideas, and we'd be more than happy to meet with them and work on some of that.
I'll reach out to Allison and maybe see if we can come up with the time, maybe in February.
Yeah, that would be fine. You know, whenever it works for the Parks Department, for sure. It's just, a lot of these things, for example, at the lakes, you know, cabin owners wanting to do things. If I send out requests and information that they need to provide, and I don't necessarily badger them for it because I have plenty of things to do. So, you know, if they don't follow up, they kind of sit there for a while.
Doug, have you heard if they have applied for grants?
They have done some grant work, yes. They've been continuing in those efforts, and I think principally they want to get together and figure out a more delineated partnership with the county. And I believe we've talked to Eric and brought up the draft MOU that was started 2 years ago or so. And I think that's where we want to pick up, is figure out what that MOU should contain, get that finalized, and then see what short and medium and long-term things and plans we want to establish for Crimson Dawn. But I think that's what we'll start with, is focusing on the MOU,
Right.
so we know who's responsible for what.
Where we are?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get it in paper, I guess, on paper, what the BOCC wants to do, what their direction will be.
Exactly.
Right.
It's kind of been a little muddied, not gonna,
And on a side note of MOUs, the Central Wyoming Trail Alliance has approached us to maybe update their MOU on operating trails and things and get a better understanding of what the county will allow them to do on trails and not do. And so that's been talked about, but hasn't gone any further than that at this time.
Since we're talking about those signage, am I correct to say that the Trails Alliance has got some new signage going up?
So,
On Eadsville and those different signs, and if that's the case, have they checked with the county on, is it okay to put up this color sign or whatever?
they informed me that they were putting up some of the little Trailblazer diamonds that had CWT. I haven't seen them. I think they put up some of them. I was just notified that they did it. They didn't specifically ask for permission to do it. I thought it might have been a replacement of signs, but I didn't really see an issue with it because they're taking the incentive to get something up there to maybe help guide people on that trail. And I think down the road, trail signage is going to be probably something we need to look at once we get through vehicular wayfinding and a few things. And I think the summer trail master plan may have some of that in it, so we have a guideline as to how we should properly label those trails.
I think the diamonds that they've put up in the past, they've just needed more, and people have requested, especially up in the North 40, of how to get through that area.
Yeah.
And I think those are fine. I mean, it's needed. They're willing to put the cost up, but thank you.
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they've done a good job. I've been up there a couple of times, and it's much easier to stay on a particular route and know when there's a branch, like which one's labeled what.
And it's easier right now because there's lack of snow.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone can figure out where
Yeah.
to go. But when we
Snow,
have
you need
large
the
snow,
diamonds.
it gets drifted, some of those signs you can't see. And that's what the issue's been, I think, is, but so far, it's not been a problem.
But yes, speaking of the future plans, the trails in Rotary Park are definitely going to need signage improvements because people get lost up there all the time.
Yeah.
There's so many use trails in different ways, and they're poorly signed now, if at all. But medium term, we definitely want to
We've brought that
improve
up
that.
a lot of times, you know?
Yeah.
And we may get them up there, get it all set, and then all of a sudden, somebody comes in, takes them down, and takes the blockades down, and you got new trails. So we know that happens, too. All right, move on to lakes.
So, we have a Pathfinder Campground Improvements. Contract was awarded to WWC Engineering on December 21st by the commission, county commission. What that entails is the engineering design for 3 campgrounds between the Pathfinder Marina and the dam. That would be Diabase, Sage, and Weiss. So they're going to basically design all of those, and then they will do the construction management on the Diabase campground, hopefully at the end of this year.
Okay.
We're gonna do it in a phased approach, one campground at a time on the construction part of it.
Gotcha.
The Diabase one also includes boat ramp improvements, boat dock improvements, as well as the campground improvement. So,
Fantastic. Are we going to have any input on the designs at all, or?
yeah, they'll, so it was roughly based off of the, I believe it was a 2012 resource management plan with the Bureau of Rec. They had different alternatives.
Mhm.
We went with the preferred alternative. They came up with a rough concept that may add 1 or 2 campsites. Some of them will be pull-through campsites. There'll be increased boat parking with better flow for boat trailers, and then additional parking for the campsites. So, yeah, it's gonna be a good concept, and it'll be presented to the public as well for comment before it's adopted. But yeah, they're designing all three campgrounds so that basically we have kind of the same trend throughout all three of them. Western Water may not be the contractor or the engineering firm that does the construction management on the phase 2 and phase 3, but they might. I think their contract says we can negotiate with them to do that as well.
So they're going to follow the same design we already put up in Alcova?
Similar. Shelter structures will be similar, ADA will be similar. Yeah. And they're just, basically, they're gonna look at the topography and see what the best layout is for the campsites. But yeah, it'll be similar to Okie Beach,
Much needed.
yeah.
About when will they get back to us with their preliminary designs?
Probably, I would think we'd probably have something in 60 to 90 days.
Okay.
As long as the weather holds out and they can get out there. I know they're already looking at it, so.
Okay. Well, when we did the master plan, we did not have a lot of participation from anybody at Pathfinder. They just didn't come to the meetings. We had a
Right.
whole ton on Alcova and Gray Reef, but not on Pathfinder. So we kind of winged it with
Yeah.
what we came up with in those plans, knowing boats, knowing things like that. But I would sure like, folks who use Pathfinder to come to these meetings and give us some good input. And what we've done at Okie Beach with moving the trailers and getting people to parking, it's really changed that whole area.
Yeah,
Take that lesson and what we've done elsewhere and see what the public is really asking for up there.
well, and one concept in the design that'll be done, probably not at Diabase, but at Sage, I think is the middle one, is some group camping.
Good.
So basically, where you can have multiple campers, they'll kind of won't be right on the water, it'll be up and away a little bit. And then the concept on the tent camping got modified a little bit because the original plan had a parking lot and then a trail into tent sites. And so you gotta haul your cooler and everything.
Right.
And so that modification will probably be where you could park one vehicle at the campsite and then overflow vehicles would be in a parking area.
And we need overflow parking for trailers and such too, boats and trailers.
Yeah,
Because you don't want to leave your boat in overnight. You want to pull that stuff and,
yeah.
and it doesn't fit in the campsite park spot usually, so.
Yeah, so there's being increased as well.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, that lake can turn in a half a second.
Yeah.
You don't want to be out there in your boat. Thank you.
Yep. As for the trailer park at Alcova, I did an extensive inventory with the Bureau Rec. The Bureau Rec's main focus was safety type issues, stairs into trailers without handrails, tall propane tanks that are not secured, that type of thing. I took the opportunity to basically photo inventory each lot. So we'll be sending letters out in the next month or two, basically stating that, you need to secure this propane tank, and give them a deadline. Or if the paint's completely coming off their shed, you need to paint it. Those kinds of things to try and make sure we maintain it so it doesn't start to degrade any further.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I have is, we were looking at changing the reservation system. At this point in time, no decision's been made by the county commissioners to approve that. I'm hoping it's coming soon. We've actually been preparing, inventories and items that are gonna be needed for the next, contractor that designs that software. So we'll be ready, once that contract's awarded, to go ahead. So,
Hopefully we get enough time to get that going.
yeah, we may have two systems running for a little bit and then do a mass switch over, I'm not sure, but, yeah.
Okay. Time is of the essence. All right. Any lake items, gentlemen? I had a couple here, road signs at Alcova. We've noticed in the cabin areas, they're gone. I understand everybody loves the name Pelican Ridge, so I think they need to have that sign in their house. But, you know, we kind of need the rest of the signs for emergency and other purposes out there. Yeah, we need to get those replaced at some point. I don't, that's a Michael Hagler thing, I don't know who does that. Culverts, Strangler was talking about getting some more culverts in.
Yeah, we went out and looked at some of those. I'm not sure the status. Our maintenance guys will probably do that, so it's probably on their list as to when that happens. I don't have a schedule.
I'm pretty sure the big rainstorm will come the week after you get them all in.
Most likely.
Yeah, and wipe them out, as it did last year. The roads were incredible last year, what huge improvements happened. The permits are going through okay. I know some folks were gonna try to move a lot of dirt,
Yeah,
still
so
waiting on,
we've got a
Four.
few of those approved. We've got some more approved, more on a medium-term kind of plan is, the Bureau Rec is not opposed to maybe doing a lake-wide NEPA document for all of the docks to where you don't have to go through this lengthy process to get approval to remove sediment from your dock. So that's something we're working on. We're also working on the county side of that to where the county can clear boat ramps, clear drainages, and things like that without the extensive process that it takes.
right.
So,
We tried to set that up with our last director. I thought we'd made some progress, but maybe it's only for one season, so.
yeah,
Good,
I'm not aware
good
of
move.
it being in place.
Yeah, I don't think it's permanent, that's for sure. That'd make it too easy. Any other questions on the lakes? Okay. Anything else, Michael?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, I think at this point, we move to public comments. Would you like to make any comments? Okay. And your name and your address, please, sir.
Want to use one of these?
Let's do that.
So Sean Reed, 819 East 12th. The only thing I have to bring up is if you can add it maybe to the next agenda, but I thought we got it already approved to fix the trail system over at Ponderosa for Pitchpin Canyon and Ponderosa. And so basically from the last house driveway all the way to the shelter itself, that road's terrible. And so Pitchpin Canyon's so skinny that they're having issues in the wintertime that the groomers can't get through it. So they're actually physically having to saw stuff just to drive through there in the wintertime. I thought we got it approved for somebody to bring in a skid steer and level it all out, and nothing. We had a private individual that helped at the shelter itself to fix coming up the hill to the shelter itself, but nothing's been done other than that.
Okay. Michael, does that sound familiar?
No,
Okay.
It's been about a year and a half,
probably
so
before my time.
They could have been, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do.
that's the only thing I had.
We can get that back. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time on the committee. We really do. Thank you very much. No more public? Eileen, you don't want to? No? Okay. Let's go to board comments. Jim?
I don't know if you've had time to put it together, Mike, but on, high school's kind of looked at passes. If you've had time to put together passes that so they can check with each one of the kids if they've bought passes.
I mentioned it to our office staff. I don't know if they did it yet, but
They've done that in the past, and
Yeah.
it's really helped, because what they do is they take that hard copy and go up on a bus and say, okay, these people have got passes, and those who don't, stand up. So, and usually you see a pretty good, I don't know if you see it pretty good, but you see people who haven't had time to buy passes, or Christmas came and they didn't have the cash, so January's been the time that we've asked, or, have made an effort to check passes.
yeah, I'll follow up on that. I didn't put in a request with the office staff to get that.
And I can get that, if you want to give me the hard copy, I can give it to the coaches.
Yeah.
And there's a handwritten sign up there now. I don't know if we ought to have a more professional sign that says what is accepted on the trail at this point, no running, no dogs, whatnot. Joe or Marvin, or someone has written a sign up there and it gets blown down all the time, just because wind.
So we had laminated the Jackson Hill Nordic sign,
Right.
and they disappeared, and we printed some more and put up. We kind of went with the temporary laminated sign just to see what kind of feedback we got before we committed to a metal sign with that on there. And I know they had that at Skunk Hollow and at the Trail Center, and maybe on the lodge door. So, we'll check and see if they're up again or
It's no
not.
longer on the lodge door, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
The sign I was kind of looking at, it was, someone was put up there saying that this is what's open right now.
Oh, okay.
The maze, Struby, no walking and whatnot. And I think those signs get kind of not looked at, especially handwritten. And I don't know-
Yeah.
And I don't know how you put up make a more professional sign,
Well, I can have, the gals in the office print it in large bold letters on a colorful sheet and we'll laminate and put it up there versus a handwritten sign. I wasn't aware that they were keeping the status of the groomed trails on a
I
handwritten
haven't seen
sign.
it up there for a while, but, it usually gets blown down. I mean, it's just,
Yeah, well.
the way the wind has been, it's the way it is.
Yeah,
I think the feedback I received from the Mangus people on utilizing the lodge was good this Sunday. They kept the attendance really low, so people just were going in there, just registering and getting back out. So no one was really sitting around, standing around. I think you were up there taking a lesson yourself.
yeah, Tori said there was one father up there that was staying in there while his kid was out, but, she's gonna manage that for the next 4 Sundays.
Right.
While Mangus is going on, so people have access to get in if they need to.
Right. I think last meeting we talked about the calendar. How is that calendar coming along of user groups getting back to you on when they want to use it so they can be posted so other people can see if a date is being utilized? I'm not sure if anybody's probably got a hold of you.
Well, I have a schedule of high school races, Mangus, Taste of Trails, Headlamp Series. As for a calendar on, say, our website, I'll have to look into that further. We are doing a little bit in-depth review of our website and coming up with some things that probably need to be corrected, changed, improved. And so we're starting that process too, as well, to maybe kind of update the overall parks website on the county website.
I've had good comments on the reports, on the blog, on the grooming part, both on the Nordic side and also on the biathlon side. It's really helped with biathlon folks giving you the information of what they've groomed, so people can go over there and that small area that the lodges around right now, the maze and Struby, can't take a whole lot more people than what they're
Yeah,
getting.
it's crowded. So,
Uh,
yeah, Rob Rosser's been been sending that information to me of what he's groomed and what it looks like, so I try to pass that on and get it on the blog as soon as we get it.
Great. I don't have any further questions.
Okay. Doug?
I'd just like to reiterate that we had a really great subcommittee meeting on the wayfinding and encourage the public to come out on the 27th of January for the public's opportunity to comment. So we're doing good work on the wayfinding, and let's keep it up.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Okay, all right. Well, looking forward to the Crimson Dawn meeting, getting that going, kind of getting an idea of what all we can do and help that group, and get real answers from the BOCC, what direction they really want to go with it. I think it's fair for everyone. The blog, I love the blog. I really do. I mean, and is Joe doing it, basically, or?
Well, Joe sends us, he usually sends us an email to myself and county, in our office, and county posts it. So she'll check for typos, and,
Okay.
and then I give her the biathlon information to put in there. She probably spruces it up a little bit. I'm pretty dry when I'm writing something, so.
I think it's read beautifully, okay? You know, there's no snow, folks. You know?
We're trying.
Snert, yeah, you know, that's, those things we can understand. You know, I ski at the other area, and it's no better there. So it's
Right.
really nice to see that update. Appreciate
But I think what it helps is Joe giving you the inches of snow that we received.
Yeah.
We'll get 3 or 4 or 5 inches down here, and everyone thinks, well, we got a foot up on the mountain.
Yeah.
And that's not the case.
Yeah, and sometimes he provides that, and a few times he's provided how much snow we received and then what it's compressed down to once you groom it, which is, some of it's nothing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But I think it's good that we're educating the people, because they don't understand when we have fluff snow, that it doesn't get compact down to anything but an inch.
right.
And they don't understand why it can't be groomed, you know, the whole area, because we just got a foot of snow. Well, the wind took 6 inches, and the coldness of the snow compacts down to an inch, so you don't have much.
Well, and our maintenance guys have been robbing snow from where they can and actually literally hauling it over and dumping it on the trails to kind of make sure we can keep Struby open and whatnot. It literally, if you get off the packed groom stuff, there's maybe 3 to 4 inches of snow in the trees. You can't even stand your ski poles up in it.
I think it's a good time also to thank the high school for, they've not practiced a couple of times just because they've shoveled snow on the trails so the community could use what we have up there. You know, they went up, I think Monday, and shoveled some more so they could open up that trail to the maintenance building and back down on the Struby, which it takes all day. I had 4 or 5 people up there, and it's commendable that they've taken the time to help themselves and also help the community.
It's great at the high schools, thank you. On my list also is the groomers and your staff up there. They've done a heck of a job with no snow. We appreciate them. We wouldn't have anything without them. So pass along our thank yous. We appreciate them.
Okay.
And your staff has been very good. We appreciate it's not been the easiest thing to go through the last few months, and we appreciate you guys. I really don't have anything else. At that,